Hi, my name is Elena and I'm a makeup artist who a lot of the times work on sets. And today I want to show you the technique of blocking eyebrows thanks to our beautiful model who joined us. And I know this technique can look very easy, but on sets or at home it can be very difficult at the same time because something goes wrong, it can look messy and you need to take everything off. So I want to show you my way, how I do it, and I feel like it's super mistake-proof. And I hope you will enjoy this. Thank you. We're starting off with our basic skincare. And first of all, I'm gonna do the toning. It's the Round Lab toner. I wanna cleanse and exfoliate a little bit the skin so it'd be super smooth surface. So just on the cotton pad, a little bit to cleanse off everything. And next I'm applying the Darling Essence. It's super great before the makeup, really love it, almost empty. It's super lightweight to give the skin all the moisture it needs, but not to overload it with the product. Can you turn up a little? And a little bit on the neck. And I think we are done. Next thing that I'm using is the Tatcha lip mask. I'm taking off a little bit just to have our lips prepped before all the amazing work that we want to do on it. Just to smooth out all the surface. It's one of my super favorite products. I use it almost on every job. Like that. In my opinion, the most of mistakes will happen with you on the prep stage. I almost every day see the people that are not removing all the excessive oils and grease from the eyebrows. They're doing their skincare and after that they're trying to apply the glue or some wax to the brows to remove them. And it's not a very good option because it starts to peel, it starts to break off. So after we do the skincare, we're going back with micellar water and I'm removing everything that we have on the brows. And it will be actually our first stage. So firstly, I'm doing this with micellar water. And please go back like one direction of the hair growths and another direction. So every little hair will be with removed oils from that. And from this side too. And the second phase will be taking a little bit of alcohol spray and removing all the oils once again. Because often micellar water is not enough. There are plenty options how you can do the block brow. And my favorite option is with Got2b Trusty Dusty, the glued gel for the hair. And I'm taking a little bit on the back of my hand. You don't need much, like pea-size amount. And I'm taking a fresh spoolie, it's clean. Taking off a little amount on the spoolie, working that in so it's coated with the product. And we're starting brushing the hairs, first of all up and then backwards. I know that a lot of people love to use Elmer's glue, and for me it's not a very good option because I feel like it cracks a lot of the times. So here I'm coating every little hair, and this is super important. All the baby hairs, everything. And the next thing I'm holding up, very ready to work, is a spatula to press down immediately all the hairs. I'm suggesting you to make it very small layers. If something doesn't stick with the first layer, it's probably gonna stick with the second. So I'm a fan of using very little amount of product. You can always add. And from the second side, I'm taking the spoolie and brushing the hairs against and with the direction, doing this a couple of times, making sure that all of the little baby hairs, because sometimes we have them maybe even here or here, all the baby hairs are coated. From the root to an end. And brushing them in with the direction. And then flattening them with spatula. The next mistake I'm seeing a lot is when people are rushing too much, because our first layer really needs to set up and be very dry so we can do the second layer. You can just leave them and do something else, the lips or the hair, I don't know. But I would like to do it with a hairdryer just to speed up the process. And I will touch with my finger to make sure it's really clean and very set up strongly. Actually, when you are using a blow dryer, you can use not only the big hair dryer, I just have it on hand right now, you can use a small fan too. So my next life hack will be when you are doing this, you can press, if the hair is stubborn, it down with a spatula while you are doing this. Our next step will be the second layer of the gel. I'm taking a little bit more in my hand. And now, not with a spoolie, with a spatula, I'm going to apply a thinnest layer possible on the hairs. You can touch the eyebrows and it needs to be super flat and not sticky. If it is a little bit sticky or a little wet, you need to dry it more. So I'm touching right now. It's just a smooth surface, nothing is. So I'm taking a little bit of the product and doing the second layer. So the second layer can do this smoothing effect on the hairs. So not the hairs would be perfectly flat, but we don't have any gaps between the hairs anymore. We're getting back with our blow dryer and just quickening up the process. Чё поправлял волосы, непонятно. Ну ладно. So you will do the amount of this second and third and fourth layers that will suit to your hair type. Our model has very thin eyebrows, so eyebrow hairs, I mean. So we just need one little layer, and I'm touching it, and it's flat almost. So I think we're good. And the next thing we want to do is taking a Q-tip and a little bit of micellar water and remove everything from the edges. So I'm taking micellar water once again, dropping a little bit here, taking the Q-tip, and just removing everything that we have maybe here and here, just around, so we don't have amount that we don't need on the edges. Don't take too much product when you are doing this on the Q-tip so it doesn't leak to the brow. Just a little bit and you can touch. If it's not sticky, you are good. Okay, and can you close your eyes? A little bit here. Our next step will be color neutralization. So if you will put your concealer just on top of this, it can look good, but you need to have super full coverage concealer. And maybe if you will have not as full as you want, you will have like greenish or maybe brownish tint going through that. So I would suggest you to color neutralize. And I will take this palette, it's from MAC, and I'm taking this concealer. It's very thick and very creamy, and I'm mixing it with this pinkish one. And remember that for color correction, we're not looking at the tone of our skin. So for the color correction, it needs to be deeper than the color of the skin, but it needs to be very similar with the tone, with the eyebrows, with the intensity. If you have some problems with that, I would suggest you a little trick. You can take your phone and do a black and white photo of yourself and try to find the color of the orange or peach that will be similar in the tone, the intensity. So if you'll have like black eyebrows, it will be super deep, dark, orangey red. If you have something like this or you're blonde, maybe you don't ever need color correction if it's very similar to the color of your skin. So I'm choosing something like this. It's got a lot of peach and pink in it. And I'm using tapping motions and putting it on top of the eyebrow. I would highly suggest you not to drag here. So first layer only tapping, just not to disturb everything we worked so hard underneath of that. Going back to the palette, adding a little bit more in my hand, mixing it in. Don't be afraid if it's too orange or too pink on your skin tone. It will be our first layer of the concealer. And please don't rush. This technique is not for the rush persons. You need to be very slow, very consistent, just pressing, thinking, nothing else. And I'm pre-blending the edge of the big patch that we've made, so I don't have the strict edges for our next steps. And next I'm taking an empty brush and just going to remove a little bit of the excess product from the edges and blend it even more. So I'm still just tapping. Don't wiggle your brush here. I know that it's very common to do the baking technique right now and do the second layer of concealer on top of that, but for me it feels too heavy. I can see it from the distance, so I'm choosing to do a little bit of transparent powder, and I will press it, but not in a baking technique. I'm doing this very lightly with a very soft layer, just so my next concealer would sit on top and not move the color correction that we did. So just a little dusting, and I am still pressing, as you can see. And you can control the amount of powder just looking at it, because our first concealer was a cream, so I'm just thinking that if it's matte enough for me, that's it, we don't need more. The next product that I will be using is my little Versace palette. It's full of pot NARS concealers, and they're super powerful. They can cover anything, like even a tattoo. So I'm taking this time the color that is very similar to our model's face, just to cover it even more, and I'm mixing to make it maybe a little bit more yellowy. Yeah, like this. Even like this, yes. I think it's pretty good match for us. And I'm taking once again a small brush, a round brush, and I will tap this product on top of what we did. And you can see how the color is turning to something a lot more similar than what we did before. And I love the finish of this concealer. It looks very matte, but it's still very natural for me. It still reminds me of the texture of just the skin. So I'm right now covering everything with an edges, so it can go on top of our concealer. And then taking a bigger brush, working in a very small amount, just prepping the brush so it won't be clean, and blend the edges. We will have foundation later, we'll have the full dramatic look. So these edges are very important to blend to our foundation later on. And once again, pressing in all the concealer. No rushing. So right now, I want to focus if I can see a little holes with the texture. I'm just filling it in and pressing the concealer into them. So it will be as smooth and as perfect as possible. So we're close to the finish. The last thing we want to do is powder that. And I know that a lot of people love to use something like this, like a powder puff. So the amount of powder will be very excessive and they want to press everything in. It's not my option because I want to do a very fresh and dewy editorial skin. If I will put this amount of powder, it will look like a mask and we don't want to do that. We want to do this as natural and skin-like as possible. So my option will be once again with the brush. And the first layer of powder, I'm doing Laura Mercier once again, translucent one, taking a smallest amount and still pressing. And the second one, can you move a little? And the second powder I want to use is something that has a little bit more dew in it. So something a little bit like this. You see, it's more baked. It has a little bit of the satin finish. So I'm using these two colors, just mixing them in and dusting everything. So it's not like dead matte. You can still see a little bit of skin-like sheen. So the last thing I want to do is spray a little bit of the cuddly water on top of everything. It needs to be a very small amount so it doesn't move anything. Can you close your eyes? But it will take away a little bit of the powderiness that is going on. and give a super smooth surface to work later. We're done with our technique. I hope you really enjoyed it. Thanks to our beautiful model for being here. And I know it's a little bit different of stuff you can see on the internet with different makeup artists, but it's the way I like to build it. Keeping in mind that I want to do an editorial skin, and it's dewy, and it's skin-like finish, and all of that. So I really hope you've enjoyed it. It's the beginning of the makeup look I want to shoot next. So if you want to see it, please stay. It will be something very excited. So see you soon, I guess. Bye-bye.